Hello! Thank you very much for tuning into this week's Pick a Read. For this week's main deck, I'm going to use Bonfire Tarot, by Gabby Angus West. For the supportive oracle cards, Wisdom of the House of Night, and it says who it's by in the back of here, but if you look it up online, it'll show you who that's by, in case you want that deck. Okay, how did these get over here? We'll just put those over there. Okay, now, I just gotta get this out of the way. I didn't realize I left it there, sorry. Let's start off. The question is, how do I change the direction of this? So whatever you're dealing with, it's the thought that you want to change something about this. Something is not to your liking, so this is the answer about how to deal with that, or move it, or change it, or, fair warning, it could be, the answer is something along the lines of it's not going to change and here's why. So it could go that way. Let's find out what happens, just to be fair. Alright, got those out. Let's do these. I think we got enough of those. Cool. Actually, I should put out the... this one here, there. Okay, so I think we're going to do the Lapis Lazuli first this time. So put that over here. Actually, I probably want to put those back so we can get a nice shot for the thumbnail if necessary. I guess there's a glare over here. Sorry about the glare. I don't know if I can block it. Probably not. There we go. So we're going to do Lapis Lazuli first. We're going to do Rose Quartz second. Rainbow Hematite third. Clear Quartz fourth. And the last one will be the green Calcite. We'll just move this over there. My little border marker here. Alright, so Lapis Lazuli. Usually about communication. I usually see this stone is about staying grounded. Also, there's the circle around it, which makes it a wish stone. So hopefully this is going to help grant your wish. Sometimes this comes through like the answer to your wish might not be exactly the way you expect it to come in. Fair warning. What does that say? Calm down and take a rest. Okay, let's see where this is going. Those are both upside down. That's right side up. Got a lot of upside down cards, except, well, actually all of them except for one. But this is a really good card to have right side up. So, and I like this upside down. You got a card hidden. You do. The Hanged Man is right side up too. Okay. So, how do you change the direction of this? Now, what I'm getting here is what you're trying to summon, what you're trying to make happen. I almost feel like you're trying to avert loss. And there is a possibility to change direction here, but you still may lose something you don't want to lose. You may not be able to avert loss, but you may be able to divert what actually happens from this loss. I feel like this is saying... you can't avoid this problem. The problem is going to happen. It's almost like something else is pushing it forward, and there is going to be loss here is what I'm getting. Complicated reversed actually is another good card to have reversed because, and that is complicated, right? Yep. I feel like it's saying literally it needs to be simplified, but this feels more like an action card for you and whoever you're dealing with. In other words, whatever the situation is, it may seem or may have the appearance of being complicated, or somebody might be trying to make it complicated. It needs to be boiled down to its root, like to its base elements. It's kind of like, I'm trying to think of an easy way to put this, but like whatever is building the situation. For example, if you have a house and the roof is coming in and you're like, how are we going to pay for the house? Well, first of all, you got to think to yourself, all right, what's my primary concern? Being able to live in the house or being able to have shelter. So you then have to drill it down a little farther. Like, all right, so currently we're living with the roof the way it is. Is there a way to fix it or at least take care of it so it doesn't get any worse until we get better funds. Like, really simplify it, which may seem a little strange, but like, basically, is there something we could do to fix it for now? A temporary fix that's very cost effective, where we don't have to worry about it, but we realize we're going to get like 2-3 months tops, and then we're going to have to do something, so we can at least, you know, elongate our times. That's the simplification of it. Make something that feels very complicated less complicated. How do we strengthen the time? How do we lengthen the time we have to make this decision? So, like, for example, if you're working on a roof, or like the roof isn't doing things, like, all right, where's it leaking? What can we do to make it so it's at least it won't leak anymore for right now, and it won't create any extra damage? What can we do? And the thing is also, what I'm getting with this, make sure you get the advice of somebody who knows what they're talking about. Because, like, for example, with roofs, it may look like you've stopped the rain from getting in, or whatever it is from getting in, but if it's seeping down in other pieces of the house, that's still creating other damage. So if someone's going to help you get a temporary fix for now, make sure they know what they're doing, so that you don't have to be like, oh, I think it's okay, but it's not really. Just, that's what this is kind of saying. Be very careful. Make sure whoever's helping you or helping you simplify this truly knows what's going on, because this isn't the action line, and this is telling me this has to go between you and somebody else. This definitely has to go between you and somebody else. Make sure who you're talking to literally knows what they're talking about. Get that advice. Find out, you know, that, or make sure that things are going to be okay, that you can simplify it enough to get some extra time. Because what I'm getting is, you can, and I'm not one to usually read it this way, but it is upside down. You got the tower reversed, which, it's more of a delay. All right, so it is a delay. Because I'm like, I don't think you can avert the tower. Because I was like, I'm kind of like, I don't know if you can really avert the tower. I'm like, it'd be nice. It sounds nice. But I'm not really seeing that as an issue here. I don't think that's really going to happen. Because you do have the Hanged Man behind it. They're saying you can put this in stasis for a while. Calm down and take a rest. Like, you need it to go on pause. You need to find a way to put this, simplify it, and take time to think. Because if you get time, the resources will come in. The 6 of Coins is making me feel like resources will come in. The 6 of Coins is, you know, the 6 of Pentacles, usually about charity, things like that, either giving or getting. And I feel like you're going to get what you need. As long as you have time to sweat this out a little more, I was going to say sort it out, but sweat it out is what flew out my mouth. You will be reversed from this. You're going to need other help. Like, you're going to have to come out of the cold. This being reversed, the 5 of Coins being reversed, 5 of Pentacles. Being reversed is saying you're going to have to be out there and explain to people what's going on and look for that help. And, like, accept help, accept some charity, because you're going to need it. That's how you change the direction. If you want this to go a different way, you're going to have to simplify it, put it on pause, calm down, take a rest, and then you're going to have to let other people know you need help. And the help will come. I do see with the 5 of Coins reversed, that might be a little bit difficult for you to accept from where it's coming from, but I am getting that that will help you. Again, communication, I'm not surprised that's the stone that came in. You're going to have to communicate the whole way through, though. Communicate for somebody to help you put this on ice so you can think about it for a while and take a minute to really think about what's going on. Then communicate again, letting other people know, like, I need help. Can somebody please help me? Can anybody do something for me? Maybe help sign a loan or co-sign a loan, or let me borrow some money, or does anybody know of contacts of some way I could do this where it's not going to cost me my whole life? Maybe somebody could help me find a second job so I could pay for this. Something along those lines. You have to communicate. Because once you get it out there, I'm not so worried about you coming up with the extra ideas. I feel like the extra ideas or whatever needs to come to you will flow fairly easily. You just got to be open to it. I feel like you will be. The whole trick for you is to communicate. Communicate, keep communication going the whole way. You can change the direction of this. This is what it's going to take to do that, though. So for those of you who chose this, that's the answer for this one. Are we good? It feels kind of harsh, I have to be honest. The energy feels a little harsh to me on that one. We're good with that one. Okay, let's pick up all these cards. It's interesting because they come upside down, and I'm like, you know what? Just because they're upside down, it doesn't mean they're negative. So I'll just have to get over it myself on that one. What do we have next? Rose Quartz. See if I can reach this over here. There we go. Oh, maybe not. There we go. Rose quartz, usually about amplifying love from my experience. I mean, it's quartz as it is. Quartz is an amplifier. Rose quartz usually speaks to love. Usually doing things with love. I've noticed a little bit of a charitable feel with this sometimes, maybe encouraging or bringing some more charitable feelings, some more love feelings, people caring more about what happens, things like that. All right, so what we're doing is we want to change the direction of what's going on. It won't come easy, but keep going. This is the first message we're getting. Are they all upside down? They are all upside down. Okay, that's how they came out, so that's what we got to do with them. I'm noticing they're kind of going like a bridge here, too. So, you're starting with the fledgling. The fledgling is somebody who has great ideas, a lot of insight, a lot of inspiration, but insight is definitely a thing here, too. The thing is, they may have the technical knowledge, but not the practical application. That's the thing with this one. You can read a lot of books, know about the situation, know how things are supposed to go, but actually putting it into action, it's kind of like flipping a pancake. Somebody can tell you how to do it, but you really got to get used to the flip of the wrist yourself. You got to you got to mess it up a couple times, quite frankly. And then you get used to it, and as you keep going, you get better. That's the fledgling energy here. Now, there's a lot of inspiration, a lot of excitement to try to do this, feeling like I just got to get it together. I can do it. It looks like a lot, but I can do it. The Ace of Swords comes in next, reversed. I just don't feel you be able to inspire anybody else to help you. I feel like this is something you're going to end up doing on your own. Change the direction of this. Now, this is about changing the direction about what's happening. And they are saying it won't come easy, but keep going. And I see that. The Ace of Swords reversed makes me feel like you're doing it alone. That's the first thing I'm getting with that. Because Swords is communication. It's the start. I just feel like you're doing this on your own. I see it right here. That's what I'm getting with the Ace of Swords. I feel like it's a very rough start. I feel like it's kind of like a couple false starts. I feel like you're going to make a lot of mistakes here. Strength reversed is telling me it's gonna be hard. You're going to have to fight through this. Literally going to have to fight through this. This is not easy. This is not feeling like you're doing well. You got Justice reversed. It's like for every ounce of good intention, it's just failing. It's no matter how much good intention you're putting in, it's coming to like this roadblock is what I'm getting. It's just not clicking. It's not happening. And then you get the Four of Wands at the end here, which is reversed. I feel like something has to change. They're saying don't give up. I'm getting that. I'm getting that they're saying don't give up. But what I'm getting here is like you're going to find out why all this is happening. And this is the key to why this is happening. I feel like somebody you're working with, when I'm seeing the Four of Wands here at the end, this feels like this is the key. They're not helping you. Somebody that you think is helping you is not helping you. In fact, somebody's actually working to the contrary. And that's why this is like there's a lot of mistakes. It feels like you're doing it all on your own. It's very hard. The injustice is just about to show. When the injustice comes forward, it's going to show you who's working against you. And when you see this, when the proof is there's going to be literal proof, then this person has to be removed. You're going to be able to redirect and reconstitute the situation afterwards. When that person's removed, someone else will have to take their place. And that's when justice comes into your realm. It's just, this is not easy. And they're saying here, it won't come easy, and it won't. That they're saying if you hold through it and you really want this to change, the thing is, for those of you who pick this, I really feel like you need to do this. I'm getting this is not the first time this person has worked against you and caused things to fail. The only way you're truly going to see them is to go through this path. You have to go through this bridge, go over this bridge, if you will. And I understand you got see, they're saying, I feel like you have a lot of love for this person and you don't want to see this. You don't want to believe this person would do this. And I feel like that's why the rose quartz is showing up here. I do feel like that's why that's here, and that's why it won't come easy, because this is something you don't want to see from this person. You don't want to believe this person is doing this. But once you see the injustice that's happening due to what this person is doing, how they're working against you, possibly, well, more than likely behind the scenes, I feel like that'll be enough to where you'll realize if you want things to start going well, if you want justice to go your way, you have to get rid of that person. Somebody else will take the place, but justice can happen. But this is what it's going to take to make it happen. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy, but that's the answer to your question. If you want to change the direction of this, and I feel like, again, I know it seems redundant, but it really feels like for those of you this is clicking with, they're like, this is not the first time this person has caused you problems. It's up to you if this is the last time. Because if you just kind of like let it go, you're just like, well, I guess I'll just go with it. Instead of trying to change the direction of this, maybe I'll just go with it and let it pass because I don't want to know who this is. This person will cause more problems later in a different way. They'll just keep doing it until you finally see what they're doing. I think that's the answer to this. Okay. That second, see, the first one I thought was kind of harsh too. I think this one is, like, I feel like they're telling you bare bones, like, no, you need to go through this because you're not going to believe this unless you see this person for what they're doing. Okay. And that was the second one. Let's go into the third one. Oh, we're going to throw that up there. Good. Rainbow Hematite. I like Rainbow Hematite. I feel like that's reclaiming your own power. I feel like it makes more sense to me if you look at it that way. Reclaiming your own power. Well, this is interesting. All right, so stop, wait, let others choose. Okay. Ironically, this comes in with the Rainbow Hematite, which is reclaiming your own power, reclaiming control of yourself. All right, this, I'll be fair. This definitely does have also that tinge of trying to control others. So that is there. And okay, because I'm seeing a person in my head, and I know where this is going. Maybe you're trying to redirect something or trying to move something in a certain way that you feel is the best for everybody, and you have the best of intentions. But maybe the pressure you're putting on someone else is taking away their ability to choose for themselves. I know that's a harsh message. That's a hard message. Take it for what it's worth. I really can't back down from that because that's what I'm getting from it. They're like, somebody out there who's watching this, it's not like you're trying to oppress someone else, but you may be very strong and somebody else may not be. And by pushing your will forward, trying to create the change, you're taking away somebody else's will to choose. That's where they're saying stop, wait, and let somebody else empower this other person. If this is happening, I don't feel like this is something you're maliciously doing. I feel like the reason this energy is happening is because you feel like you're taking care of this person, or you're looking out for this person, or you're trying to direct this person in what you think is best for them, which makes sense. But they're saying no. This you're taking away somebody else's strength. This is not good the way this is going. This is the energy they're getting. Like, you want to change the direction of how this is going. Maybe this is a relationship you're dealing with, and you're like, it just keeps getting worse, and it keeps getting worse, and I want to get along better with this person. Stop. Just wait and let them decide what they want to do. It's going to make a big, big difference in the whole situation. Because somebody feels invisible here. Now, granted, you may be the person that feels invisible. You very much may be. But it's in the... Somebody does. Somebody definitely does feel invisible. And I'm getting whoever's pushing the energy forward needs to kind of back down. So, if this is coming in reverse for you, and I know that happens because people put that in the comments every now and then. They're like, this kind of happened reversed for me. Okay, so let's go that route. Let's go that route. You need to separate yourself from this person best you can. And if it's a work situation, this might be calling in a day or two just so you can breathe and think about what you need to do with this situation, if that's what has to happen. Because the energy has to be relaxed. It has to back off. And then the Six of Cups has to come in. The Six of Cups is saying, what has been going on and why has it been happening? Who's been putting on this pressure? Whoever the Queen of Wands is. And the Queen of Wands is not... Like, the energy isn't good nor bad. It's just how it's coming in. When it's reversed, it means it's oppressing somebody. It's forcing somebody along to their will. That's what this is. That's how I read it anyway, just to be fair, because it's a very powerful card, a very willful card. Right side up, it's very caring and inclusive, and it helps other people. It brings people together, and let's move forward together. Let's take care of things. When it's reversed, it can be very much about its own will and where it wants to go. And it can be very short-sighted about how others feel. Not intentionally, but it just can be an out-of-control energy. It happens. So if this energy can be muted for a while, the Six of Cups should come forward saying, all right, how long has this been going on? How are people actually getting along? That might be the big kick with the Six of Cups. How are people getting along, especially like when this person is involved and when they're not involved? Or when this person is involved versus when they're not involved? Because this energy needs to be muted temporarily. It needs to be reconstituted too, is what I'm getting. But, because if you just take a minute here, even if you're the Queen of Wands reversed, and it doesn't matter about your gender, if you're realizing, you know what, I do get very strong, but I really do feel like I'm doing the right for everybody, but it just seems, the situation just seems to get worse and worse and worse, or people seem to like me less and less and less and less, let me just step back, take a breather, just let things be, let things calm down, and let me look at the history about the decisions I've been making, the decisions other people have been making. Have things been getting better? Have things been getting worse? The way I'm going, is it working or is it not working? That's the basis of it. The Six of Cups is saying this is your moment to like do a self-audit. Are you empowered? Do you truly feel empowered that you're doing what you need to do? Are you empowering others to make their own choices? That's very important. Very important. I mean, honestly, the advice here from what I wrote down here, stop, wait, and let others choose. You got to let other people choose for themselves. I've gone through this with other people. If you keep directing other people, you keep telling people what to do, they're only loyal to you as long as you're an eye shot or ear shot or whatever. Once they feel like they're freed from you or they have a moment to breathe on their own, they're not going to listen anymore. They're going to go the way they truly want to go. So it's not having a lasting effect anyway. It's only powerful as long as you're there to enforce it. You want something that's going to be able to thrive on its own. You've got to let people make their own decisions. Because if they're telling me, if this is clicking with you, and that's how you feel, just to be fair, you let other people choose, your stress level goes down greatly. I feel like a lot of you, for the people this is hitting for, I feel like you might be questioning that, like, oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that because of this, that, and the other thing. Fair, that is fair. But the Ten of Wands is saying you're getting a lot, it's taking off a lot of stress from you, and it's helping things go better. And I feel like there's a lot of things you might be stressed about that you don't need to be stressed about. You'll notice the last card is loyalty. The more you empower other people to choose for themselves, the less stress you're going to have, the more loyalty you're actually going to get from these people. Because when they know that you not only want them to make their own decisions, you trust them to make their own decisions, because I feel what will happen next is you'll help them make their own decisions, you'll support them in making their own decisions and helping them carry them out. You get loyalty back constantly. So much loyalty will come back to you from this. This is why this will go in a much better direction, because instead of feeling like you have to hold the thing together, hold everything together, and do everything for everybody because people will screw it up or this, that, the other thing, empower them to make their own decisions. Let some mistakes happen. You know, it's life. Guess what? Make mistakes. That's the point. You're supposed to make mistakes. You make mistakes so you can fix them, so you can learn from them, so you can grow from them. The more you empower people to make their own mistakes and learn from them and make better choices, the more you stand behind them, the more they're going to be loyal to you when you need them to be. You're going to gain a real loyal following from this. Do this. This will work out. This will change the whole situation for you. For those of you this is hitting with, I feel like this will change the whole situation. I actually feel like this is going to be really hard. If this is really hard to hear, and this is really like making you very, very uncomfortable, I'm feeling like this is probably for you. I know that may sound really rotten, but it probably is. And they're saying this could change the whole thing. This can make everything go in a better direction. This can make you so much happier. So much happier. And it'll pay you back in dividends. It really will. It really, really will. And I think that's the answer for this one. Okay, that's what we got for this one. It's funny, I know these are picker reads, but I swear all three of them so far have seemed very harsh. They're just they feel kind of brutal. I'm like, they're just kind of like right to the point, like, this is the answer. This is what we're telling you. This is just how it is. A lot of times I think of this like if I was on the other side of the camera or listening to this, I'd be like, what? Like, that's a bit brutal. Let's go into the next one here. Quartz, clear quartz, which is an amplifier. It also usually gives you the ability to decide what you want to do with it. You know, how do you want to energize it? What type of energy do you want here? Do you want love energy? Do you want money energy? Do you want justice energy? Do you want revenge energy? What type of energy are you going to amplify with this? So it's kind of like an amplifier. You can make it what you want. One of those things. Shattered dreams. Okay, well, this is already sounding fun. I wrote that down and I didn't want to. That's the funny thing. But I also felt like, no, that's the message. You got to put it. So just go with it. All right, so we got this. Let's see. What do we have? Is it all in frame? It is. You know, I'm noticing it looks kind of like when I'm looking at it in the viewfinder, it looks almost like an evergreen tree to me. A little bit. It's a little janky. I give you that. But where are we going here? You're starting over with self-worth. You want this to go in a different direction. I feel like this is your side. Your side is self-worth. I feel like this other side is someone else. I feel like this is kind of coming together here. I'm feeling like there's been a judgment already. A judgment that failed. I feel like it's starting at the bottom. I feel like this is like the root of the tree. I really do feel like this is the root of the tree. Judgment reversed. Like something went against you, but it also went against somebody else. Like you and somebody else are very unhappy, and they got shattered dreams here. Like things just went kaflunk. And this is like change the direction of this is kind of like, I feel like something has already been lost. Like I think the first one was like that too. Like something has already been lost. It's just kind of too late. You were dealing with someone else. You were trying to figure out, what can I really do from here? What am I really empowered to do from here? That's what I'm getting from this card. The other side you're dealing with, whoever it may be, they're trying to understand how this happened. Like, I feel like the other side, whoever you're dealing with especially, seems to be really, really upset about this. Like, this really went against them. The decision was really bad. It's not making you happy, but it's really, like, it's shaking this person pretty bad. It's hard. They're trying to figure out why this happened. The King of Swords reversed, coming off of this person, is that can be either lack of communication or very negative communication, one of the two. So be careful of that, be aware of that. When your card comes up to match it, I'm seeing the Page of Coins reversed, is where there's nothing left to do. It's like the decision was rendered, you don't know really what to do now, there's nothing you can do now. It's kind of like slowly accepting what happened here. That's kind of like it happened. And there's no action on your side, but you're trying to accept it. You're having a hard time accepting it. That's kind of what I'm feeling on this side over here. So the two of you coming together, like the energy isn't the most empowered, I'll give you that. But then you notice the quartz show up here. You got vision. That's Aphrodite. Like most people realize Aphrodite, goddess of love, you know. I'm feeling you can come together with this person. Knowing that this person has the King of Swords reversed, they're trying to make sense of what happened. I feel like that's hard. I feel like it's almost like, I feel like for now that really can't happen. I don't feel like they're in a place where they can really understand the mechanics or accept the mechanics of why the judgment went against them. So at this point, I feel like it's moving away from this energy. Bringing the vision together is connecting with this person and trying to create something new. Because when you come together with this person, that's where I get the quartz is coming in. If you keep going in a negative way, like if you match their negative energy, it's going to multiply. If you bring it forward and you try to change it, and you have a very, if you do your best to have a positive energy, you at least won't multiply the negativity. How's that? You may just nullify it. If you can convince them over time, and it may take a bit, because this is the King of Swords, not for nothing. If you can convince them to like turn around and go a different direction, you could start multiplying in a positive way, but I'm feeling like you're dependent on this energy. They're saying the first thing to do to stop this from going the way it is for you to not play into the negativity, which is a lot. It's hard. It's not easy. I'm not going to say it is, because I feel like it's hard. Trying to not make it worse, but also trying to not aggravate the other person, trying to just have a positive outlook. You know, some days are easier than others. But they're saying with the quartz crystal, if you match their energy and you feel just as down and out and you amplify their energy, you're going to amplify the negativity here, and you're going to get more bad things. It's not going to be fun. Just at the very least, if you have a positive energy and they have a negative one, you'll at least nullify them a bit, so at least you won't get any more spillover your way. You shouldn't anyway. Do your best to kind of like slow the spin. But they're saying here with the vision and the Aphrodite, like, realize that this can go better. This needs to go better. Something new could come of this, but it's not going to help. It's not going to happen until, like, one of you has to stop the spin. And I feel like the person coming towards this that chose the quartz crystal, you're the one that's empowered to do that. You're the one who's trying to find answers, so it's up to you to start it, and then hopefully you can convince the other side too as well. This can get better. At this point, I feel like what they're saying is you got to stop the spin to not play into any more negativity, which may just not aggravating this person anymore or not talking about it might be a part of it. You got to be careful. Like, look at the situation and how are you adding into it? Because I know sometimes it's just bringing up the subject and talking about it to certain people seems to amplify their feeling, makes them feel worse. They just need time to let it rest and just not think about it. Sometimes that's what somebody needs, to just stop thinking about it. Even though you may need to talk about it more, that's okay. Maybe you need to find somebody else to talk with, is what I'm getting. I mean, let's not make it too complicated. I think I was. Just look at how you're connecting to them. Because I'm getting, for some people, you're not trying to make things worse, and it may not seem to you that it's worse, but you're just bringing up, like, oh, we're going to have to do this now, we're going to have to do that now that this has happened. You may just have to, it may just boil down to stop reminding this person about what's already happened and let it settle. And then if you have to work out some details, try to find other people to work that out with. By doing this kind of starts dismantling the tree, is what I'm getting. You know what I mean? It starts pulling it apart. I do feel it very, I'm noticing that the vision is coming over with the King of Swords. The other person has to get on board at some point, but the first thing to stop them from making this worse is for you to not make it amplify any more than it is, which may be easier or may be harder than I'm coming across. I think it's going to be harder, quite frankly. Could it really be easier? For some of you, it is easier than I think. And the fact that maybe it's just shutting down and not talking about the subject for a while. Just not bringing it up, just going about life if that's possible. Maybe that's just pulling yourself out of it, and I feel like this will kind of straighten out on its own. It doesn't feel like this is going to be an easy resolution, I have to say. But they're pulling in the shattered dreams with this side here because it really feels strong over here. I feel like this person just needs some time to basically accept what's happened. And when they can sort it out on their own and just feel through it, and they get to a point where they want to turn around, things will go better. Because you might have to wait for them to approach you for things to really start really going better. Because as long as they're in this negative energy, which could be a lack of communication or negative energy, one of the two, until they turn that around, I just don't feel like you have the ability to really get this going in a better direction. But what you can do is stop it from getting any worse, not adding into it. I think that's it for that one. Huh. That's a very interesting one. I know sometimes the answers are just not exactly what I'd want to hear, but the answers are the answers, I guess. I've gotten that before. Like, the answers are the answers. So, there you go. I don't feel like that's giving you resolution. I think that's the thing with that one. I feel like they're saying the first step is to stop the spin. And then later you might get more possibilities. Alright, so the next one. Green calcite, which is focus. Take the hard way? Oh, okay, now I remember putting that. I think it's funny that sometimes I put these cards down and I'm just like, or, you know, I write these things down and I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I really want to write that. Alright, so. Now, the energy's heavy with this one. You got a lot of focus here. Alright, so you got letting go, but you got the Nine of Wands reversed, which I feel like you can't defend anymore. Like the Knight of Wands to me, like when I think of the Knight of Wands, I thought that was a defense card. It's a little different in this one. This person seems a little beaten, a little battered. They're kind of fighting to keep going. They're trying to keep surviving through a situation. There's been a lot of pain that came out of it is what I'm also getting. But usually this is somebody who keeps persevering and holds to their own and gets through a situation. This is telling me you have to let go of what you want. You got to like put down the fight. You got to kind of put down the resistance. Letting go along with this is telling me you have to let go of where you want this to go. Now the hard part of this, it says take the hard way. And I'm noticing, you'll see the Empress reversed right here. The Empress, when that's in a negative energy, when that's not doing the best, the Empress usually loses sight of who needs to be taken care of. Sometimes that's when they don't take care of themselves that well. Sometimes it's when they start oppressing others or dominating over other people because they have a lot of strength. The Empress is an extremely strong card. And when that energy is out of balance, it can mow over people quite easily, quite frankly. And I'm getting a very dominating energy. I get a very, my way is the right way. My way will make sure people are taken care of. Things will work out. It can be a very short-sighted energy. It doesn't mean to usually hurt people. It's not usually the intent. But it's usually feeling like they know what needs to be done, and if it's not done their way, it's not going to work out. It's kind of that feel when it's out of balance. Sometimes it tries to cut people out or cut situations out of a situation in the sense of like, you know, there's not enough for everybody, so they try to block other people out, or they only take care of the people they like the most. That's this when it's unbalanced. So sometimes it can be very favoritism. They can be choosing favorites and stuff like that. That's what I know I was coming towards. So when I'm getting the hard way here, this is somebody you're going to have to deal with. To make this go a different direction, you have to deal with this person. And I feel like the favoritism feels really strong here to me. I feel like you're going to have to work yourself through it. You're going to have to work, I don't want to say around this person. Kind of like you're just going to have to face it and see them for who they are and just keep going forward. Just saying, take the hard way. Just keep going. Hold focus. Get through it. Just keep going. This is actually going to change the situation. Trying to fight this person, I feel like just wastes energy and just makes things worse for you. If you want things to start going better, a better direction, just work with it and just power through it and get through it. Because what it happens from this is the Nine of Swords, and it's reversed though. Because I feel like after a while, this person just stops bothering you. Once they realize that you're not really a threat to what they want, and then you're just going to keep going and get things done the way you need to get things done, I'm getting like, as long as they can depend on you to do what they really want, like the main things that they want, they seem to leave you alone, but I'm getting strength here between you and them. I feel like you kind of win them over a little bit by getting through the situation, but you have to stay on it. You have to stay close, you have to pay close attention to it. The energy is really kind of heavy here. I gotta be honest. This feels really difficult because I feel like if you give into the situation, just kind of focus through and get through the situation, after a while, I just get that a lot of the stress is released with the Nine of Swords reversed. Like, I feel like you're finding a way to survive through with this and finding a way to work with this person, but it takes a lot of effort still. Even afterwards, it takes a lot of effort to do that. It's better, but I feel like you constantly have to be on the ball. You have to be constantly on the lookout to see what's going on with this person. I really don't feel like you're this person's favorite person, quite frankly, for those of you who are coming to this reading. I feel like they want you to do what they want, and if you're going to make your own decisions, they don't really care for that. I feel like when you get down to this level, you've gone along with them long enough that you can kind of get your way on some things, not everything, but some things, and it makes things a little better for you. Takes off a lot of the stress, so you're getting enough of what you want to take off enough stress to make it worth it, but you constantly have to stay on the ball. You have to constantly keep an eye on this person. You have to constantly stay on the ball, stay aware, stay alert, whatever you want to put here. That's what it would take to make this go a different way. This one seems very harsh too. All of these, all 5 of them seem very hard to me. They really did. This one to me feels like, if I was seeing this, I think you have another option here. You might have to find a way to not have to deal with this person in a positive way. So, so like if this is a job, I'm thinking about like I'm putting this out there in the universe here. If this is a job, for example, and this person is a nightmare to deal with, I feel like what they're saying is they're just always going to be. Maybe it's time you look for another job is what I'm getting. You know, if you have a situation like this that you can change like that, maybe that's what you need to do. Now, if this is a family member, oh boy, less is more is what I'm getting. So if you could the less you have to deal with this person is probably the better. And maybe that's the way you got to angle this, is just start moving your life in a way that the less you have to deal with this person, the easier your life will be. That's the best I could come. Because for family members, it's just kind of like they're always going to be there. It's just how it is. But just kind of moving them into a different area of your life, or hopefully making them a less prominent player in your life, would make your life easier. Alright, I'm going to have to let that go there. Alright, I'm going to shut that down there. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.